Ah, no, where'd you go? Should come back any second. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. That's fun. Wow. EW and Four Seasons gonna fight it out on Linwoo. That's hilarious. Alright, let's go. Very quickly. So, tonight we have 3 battles only. I think one has a bye. Casters, there we go. Alright, so we have Britonia versus Checkmate, I believe. Who is Checkmate? Alright. Here we go. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. CHE is checkmate. Yep, it is checkmate. Alright. So we have 3 battles for tonight. First, we'll go over 3 battles. Really quickly. Come on. I had all of this stuff here. So, tonight, we're going to be watching the Britonia versus Checkmate battle. There is the EW versus Four Seasons battle also going on concurrently. And then later on, we'll be watching Chinese Red versus Chinese Dragon, I believe. Chinese CH is Chinese. I mean CN. It should be Chinese Dragon. CNC Crusaders. No, Chinese War. All right, interesting. So, Chinese Red versus Chinese War later on tonight, and the last of the battles, which is actually, well, I mean, last of the divisions, CBL is just CBL. Yep, will automatically buy since they don't have any opponent. I forgot who pulled out. Man, I need to keep a list on who pulled out or not. I need to make my own list for these things. So, with that being said, Johnny versus Chessmate. Not sure who these guys are. Let's have a look at their scores very quickly. Checkmate from LA, getting a total of 38,394. Could be wrong, but Checkmate does look to be using a lot of Japanese characters, some English character names. So I'm gonna have to put it out that it might be from the Japanese community. But regardless, hopefully the battles between them will be awesome. Chonia versus Checkmate. I'd love to see how Checkmate does, but we have seen Britonia before, so Britonia should be able to do extremely well, if not probably stomp the enemy. Getting average on higher. I'm gonna see our God of War Lubu. Hope we see Maike again. Always like seeing Maike fight. Should start shortly, I guess. Fun trailer. Is it muted? Yeah, it's muted this time. I'm gonna go get some more water really quickly. Ah! Holy shit, man. My titles for these things are just super long, aren't they? Oh, I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'm going to be commentating for the Bretonia versus Checkmate battle, and then later on, everyone should be doing the Chinese Dragon versus Chinese War. I mean, Chinese Red versus Chinese War. Oh, they're showing up the new units. This Javelin one, kind of interesting. So many skills, though. All of these new units are going to have a retarded number of skills. This is a. I'm thinking that one, when they charge through, doesn't do any damage. That one's just a regular charge. Wonder how many shots they'll have. Considering the range, that's pretty far. I'm guessing these javelins will probably have around about 60 range. If not, they'll be able to they'll be able to ground target. I think it's all auto target actually. I don't think they have a ground target ability. These guys are a little bit more weird. Because I'm guessing that this primary throw here is auto, and this one's a ground target one, so it's, well, like, targeted. And then they have a regular charge. We're gonna have to see how well these guys do in combat, since, like, you've already seen that two of their skills realistically are throw type skills, so I don't think these guys are going to be good in melee combat. Probably have a lot of damage, but considering that they don't have a melee skill that makes them good in combat, they're probably going to get pushed out fairly easily. And you don't really want, I mean, like, throw type, like, range type units like these guys will, you never want them to actually enter into melee. Unless their basic attacks are just that retarded. I mean, like, berserkers are pretty retarded. If they have berserker attacks, yeah, sure, these guys. And there's like 18 of these guys. Actually, it might be higher. Might be 24. Nah, I'm guessing it's 18, actually. Yeah, it's 18. 4-5-5-4. That's the formation they're in. Although the art doesn't, not flattering at all. Make their arm look really skinny. I've already gone over. Should have already started. Hmm. I don't know what the hold up is. Was it BB's? There we go. Although I don't particularly know what they're saying. Chinese, so CD, so CND, Chinese Dragon, then CNR, which is Chinese Red, and then CN, which is Chinese War. So three different Chinese teams. Well, teams with Chinese in their name. Wonder if they're affiliated. Got the numbers or chances of winning. Well, or let's see. I mean, like, only takes one good team to win. You can throw a lot of people in, but let's see how well they do. Crusaders seems to be on the weaker end. Same with Wildfire. We don't get to see Formerholt this season, so that's a little bit sad. So who's the winner of G? Oh, VN House is an automatic buy. That's uh that's lucky. All right. Oh man, I didn't even get to tell you what the pick man was, but we got Heilong Fjord coming out first. Just really quickly, Chess banned Harbour City, and Britannia banned Constantinopolis. But Britannia is attacking first on Heilong Fjord, so we'll be seeing a Britannia attack. Then we'll see Chessmate attack Wall Fort. So that's going to be interesting. I think Britannia is liking this Heilong Fjord attack. Going to see what kind of strategy they will employ. Going in with a lot of tier 4s, looking for that attrition type player. Chessmate going in heavy, heavy infantry. Both Medell and Iron Reapers in spade. We've got 5 muskets also being deployed by the defenders. Going to be pretty nasty if you ask me, to brute force through 5 muskets. Oh, look at the short swords coming out. Oh wow, Chessmate not using that many short swords in fact. Britannia going with short swords in spades, so we got 6 short swords, very common indeed. 4 spears, only 2 muskets. But looking at the concentration, wow, only one Metallitor both sides and one Flamer's coming out from Britonia. No, not a troll. The Madao Iron Reaper lineup is fairly effective. And if they go, yeah, I'm looking at the unit composition. I do not believe that Chessmate's trolling. I believe this is a legitimate strategy. Again, brute forcing with sheer quality. Both Madao and Iron Reapers are amazing and really can't be contested in the infantry realm. So it's up to Britonia to really make sure that they trade effectively. If they can't trade effectively, immediately their strategy of triple tier fours is going to bite them in the ass because I'm thinking that if each of the tier fives can eat up 1.5, it's an easy victory for Chessmate. And not to mention, Heilong Fjord is an all or nothing for A and B. Very difficult to hold the C point and the base point when you get to it. Britonia is focusing on this A side here. B side having a couple, only about 3 attackers. Broken through the front gate. Does look like Chessmate not doing a forward defense. Well, maybe they are. Through the wall break they have. Got some guys on the wall here. Let's see if they take a loop around. Very strange to see some Halberdier Sergeants, in fact. Halberdier Sergeants, one of the few units that have stun on brace inside their veterancy line. Here comes the Palace Guard top line, trying to smash through some Loyal Guards. Loyal Guard might have been a mistake here. Again, not very strong in the current lineup. Treb might be massive if it comes in early. Ooh, 1, 2, only 2 comes in. Not very good hits either. Britonia is brute forcing here, doing very well for themselves. Probably a complete surround on the Medaus. Well, thanks. Here comes an Imperial Pike March. Not good positioning by Chessmate. Chessmate absolutely eating it here, but Medaus are still holding strong. That pile is not giving up. Even if it's surrounded, it is not outmatched. The heroes have died. This is very unfortunate. A lot of heroes have died, and those units will retreat straight into the Madao. Cutting its way through. Here comes some Iron Reapers. Iron Reapers sword mode. Very, very difficult to deal with. Again, the recent buff or the recent rework that gave them the Tiger's Guile. Very strong ability, especially in sword mode, making them CC immune for the 12 seconds that ability is activated. Britonia is putting pressure on the B side. Might be a spawn B side rush. Probably not a good strategy though. Again, as Chessmate rocks on over, they're going to get bottlenecked really hard. I mean, they'll still have to deal with the Medal right now. Although it does look like Britonia does have the advantage here. Unit by unit will rock up. But I'm looking at these unit kills. Look at this. 300 units down for Britonia, and this is 300 on top of their natural. We're looking at a unit deficit of more than 600 right now, but Britonia finally smashes through the Medal. More Medals spawn back in. They might lose the B point here. These 2 short swords are being very difficult and a pain in the ass, not being able to respawn their guys. Very unfortunate. Looks like Chessmate a little bit slowed and a little bit indecisive. Should have just went straight into the B point. Now B point has been captured. This supply point is probably a mistake for Britonia, but if they can get it fast enough, they'll be able to gain a massive advantage. But we're looking at 3-ish medals and plenty of heroes. You gotta make a decision. You either stay or you run. If you stay, you might have a chance. But if you run, you're guaranteed to fall. Looks like 2 of the Medals have already fallen, and a lot of the heroes are getting chased down as we speak. That's gotta hurt. Very painful on the B side. Massive losses. Do remember that these guys go with a double tier 5 lineup. One unit loss is is half their force. Again, Surf units are basically nothing in comparison. Very smart. Britonia going for the A side. Never push through the B side unless you're guaranteed to make it all the way through. Because if you get bottlenecked on that fence heading towards the C from the B side, you're going to feel the pain. Here on the bridge side, it's very difficult for the enemy to hold it, but it's not impossible. Again, getting trebbed and brute forcing through here is quite easy, but you're also way out of position. With no support, it'll be brutal. Unfortunately for Britonia, they might be just running out of steam already. Well, seeing some farmers be deployed and some pike militia, not a good look for yourself. Although some range coming in, I'm not sure what that was. I do not remember which range they deployed, but Chessmate doing very well for themselves. They're in a good position. Unit deficit is huge, and it is brutal. Look at that. 600 unit deficit. I know most of it's going to be serfs, but that's that's going to be disheartening, to say the least. Trying for this supply point. Too much projection, I think. Iron Reapers at the front here, probably going to cut through these surf type units, but the Grey Hair Garrison still holding strong-ish. Palace Guards trying to push their way through. Probably not a smart idea. Too many of the again, you're not created space. Here comes an Imperial Pike March, half of Imperial Pike March, in fact. Grape shots for grape shots out in spades. No way. Brute forcing here. But maybe just make it. Just got to finish off the remainder of the high tier units, and then it should be fairly easy for Britonia to win through brute force. They know they need to get an advantage, but look at the medals. Plenty of medals. This Imperial Pike March onto the medals, onto the supply point, is out of position. Going to get cleaned up real fast, but makes a lot of space. More Fortebraccios need to get up onto the point. Grape shots from Britonia. They're not giving up. Some tertials, in fact, rock up. Iron Reapers charge in. They're going to cut straight through to the Nafan guards. I don't think anyone's going to be able to block for these guys. Severely outnumbered, in fact, even just in troop quality as well. Britonia definitely trying to go for the supply point, but again, the mistake here is projecting too much. Britonia really needed to come in through multiple directions, but the Iron Reaper swarm with the medals have already started the tidal wave that's going to cut right through Costas Bridge. Looking at the front, probably from a distance here, not going to be looking good. A lot of trebs missing, in fact. That's unfortunate. But just hitting some farmers. Britonia is down to 180 units. Desperate for a victory. I think the strategy was not sound. This is not good. Not good at all. I'm gonna have to say that Britonia is gonna have to lose the attack here. Massive mistake was underestimating your enemy. Nice commitment from Britonia. Nice, probably okay formation, but the problem is look at these Iron Reapers. They cut right through that Grey Hair Garrison, and they're going to cut through that Grey Hair Garrison as well. They're not going to stop either, because these guys are healing and will heal up again. You've got basically no units left. 133 units. These guys have 800 units in comparison. Even if it's mostly serfs, that is a difficult ask for a hero pile, especially since it's a hero versus hero. 13 versus 13 right now. Wow, in comes the flank here from Checkmate. Checkmate is not allowing Britonia to breathe here. Only one Fortebraccio, a couple of tertials left, and a Metallitor still on the field. Probably the remainder of what is strong. I think a couple of permadeath coming out for Britonia as well. Not good by the looks of it. I don't believe. don't believe Britonia's got what it takes to take Heilong Fjord here. Checkmate is... Well, it's going to be a stonewall for, like, the next 3 minutes. I don't think Britonia has anything left. They got a couple of trebs left, but these trebs would basically need to land on on everything. On all 700 of their units simultaneously. They've got a lot of grape shots. They're trying. That's the best part. But they have no strategy. Ooh. Here comes the push. Kill hero after hero, though. If you can kill the heroes, you can get the units off the field, but here they come. They're going to push right down into the spawn point, and the heroes are going to die. Britonia, I commend you on your effort, but I'm just going to have to say that this is probably the last. Outmatched here in sheer strength. Unit quality is... that is a really good question. Unit quality really matters nowadays. Tier 4 can no longer compete with Tier 5s, and that's sad. At the same time, it shows the strength of the Tier 5s nowadays. Going with the Madao and the Iron Reaper lineup really need to focus on their weaknesses. Unfortunately, Britonia didn't have what it takes. Just 2 minutes to go. Just going to be a run out, unfortunately. Manhunt for the last of the attackers. And there's a Britonia called attacker. So, definitely a good display on what Checkmate is all about. Strength in using the strength of the units in order to make up for their lack of teamwork, I think. Haven't seen too much teamwork. They just kind of just go in and station themselves. Again, like the Madaus earlier at the A point were completely surrounded, but they won in the end. I think Britonia's mistake was, again, underestimating their opponent, brute forcing it when they don't need to, and rushing when the enemy was strong. Very unfortunate first battle, but we still have another battle to decide whether or not we go down to the tiebreaker. But not the first time we've seen a double tier 5 lineup here. Very kind unexpected that Checkmate would win here in such a brutal fashion. Again, I did not expect the unit deficit to bite Britonia in the ass so fast. But it did become apparent as units were retreating in awkward positions, and again, the massive losses did mount in really fast. I'm pretty sure when we get a look at the stats, they'll probably show that Britannia lost a lot of units at the A point, and then a lot of units at the supply point. Half their units at A. I mean, they got the B kind of easily. They only had to get through one Madao. Look at that permadeath. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 permadeath. Only God of War Lu Bu was not the one permadeath. So 14 permadeath versus I don't know how many on the other side. We'll know in a second. But look at the leadership as well. It's not like Britonia did badly. They still did well. They killed high tier units. And that's the thing. They killed a lot of high tier units. They had to. I mean, the entire enemy team was running with double tier 5s. But again, the double tier 5s paid off. Look how many people paid off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people paid off. The next 600 almost paying off. And we get around the halfway mark. Oh, we got this poleaxe in mid-section going, paying off himself as well. Lots of assists and kills here. Whether or not it was by the heroes or by the units, I'm not sure. It was very difficult to tell. Again, I think most of the Tonia's death was by the units. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Well, hopefully the next battle starts very soon. I'm going to be looking at Checkmate attacking this time on Wall Fort. Let's see if they go with the same strategy at double tier 5s. A double tier 5 wave is quite frightening, in fact. I'm gonna have to put it down to the fact that Iron Reapers being CC immune, the whole 12 seconds really gonna really relies on units that just deals a lot of damage to just murder them instantly. And if you don't, and just the sheer quantity of Iron Reapers probably just coming in from one direction, it's gonna be a hard ask to stop them. I mean, Greyhair Garrisons don't stop them. I mean, unless they're charging, Fort Rashios don't even insta-kill them anymore. You got something to you need something to absorb the damage, and you need something that will deal a lot of damage. Iron Reapers, no slouch nowadays. The buffs to the very heavy armor trait, buffing it from 10 to 17% damage reduction, really is a game changer here, especially in en masse. The best advantage Bretonnia probably going to have if Checkmate goes with the same strategy is the usage of cavalry, because Iron Reapers on the ground is not going to be very useful, but if they defend the wall, Iron Reapers are going to be their biggest concern. If they're on the ground, Medals are going to be their biggest concern. So they can do the classic strategy, give up the wall, give up A and B, so take out the towers, buy for time. But you kind of want to, if you know your down unit quality, you want you want to use their weakness against them. So both Iron Reapers and Medals are both extremely susceptible to ranged damage. So I wonder if Bretonnia will realize that they'll need range and a good setup, because the push is can be slowed, and they need to slow down the brute force. They need to spread out the enemy, because as you saw that Pretonia had more troops. Like in general, they had more troops, but it didn't. They couldn't concentrate them in an area versus the high quality troops of Checkmate. But anyway, War Fort is about to begin, so let's have a look see and comment on what's going to happen, because this will be the so we'll get to see what units they actually bring, whether or not. Yeah, still going up with that heavy lineup. Wow, look at those Bowcap, Iron Cap Bow Riders. Bowcap Riders? I keep calling them Bowcap Riders. I don't know why. Lot of Iron Cap bow crab. Nah, lot of Iron Cap bow riders. Lots of Tundra humans swap out as well. Looks like they're swapping out some of their Iron Reapers, but does not look like they've given up on the Iron Reaper spam, which will be very difficult to deal with. I think it's going to be a massive mistake here if Bretonia doesn't realize the lack of shields is the biggest downfall for Checkmate right now. Look at the double nuff. They're choosing double nuff on guards over ranged units. So that's interesting pick. And what have you done to my main feed? Thank you. Oh my god, my main feed just cut out there. That was the other battle. EUW's Four Season. I mean, EW versus Four Season. They're on Heilong Fjord right now. I think, right now, looks like Four Seasons losing. Only around about 4 Bretonians on the B side versus 6 checkmates. It's going to be a bit of a hard ask for just 2 of these guys to stop 6. 2 of them immediately climb once they got there. They're not going to have any time. I think also, probably, you're zooming out too far, dude. Thank you. A little bit closer. I can barely see the unit quality. Okay, so they did give up the climb here. Guess it was because the Grey Hair Garrison are deployed. So they will fight off anything non-substantial. Just Village Watchmen for the beginning. Again, I mean, you could have climbed with Iron Reapers and probably brute forced that Grey Hair Garrison. Already a massive retreat, so the bridge must be very close to going down. Checkmate realizes that they're probably going to give up the wall. Are they? No. I don't know what's happening. They're going through the front gate, dude. Cameraman, front gate. Interesting pick. Oh. Terrible trade for, Checkmate right now. This is shooting fish in a barrel right now. Even though their ranged units are not substantial, but Metallators and Nafan Guards chipping away. The worst scenario for them, Fortebracio's ultimate. Again, range here. A point getting capped, though. Question whether or not Bretonia wants to all in the A point here. Massive retreat. Did see the front gate push, so. Checkmate. Very surprising. They didn't test the water. They went straight in. But nice catch, Bretonia. Nice catch. I did not expect a catch to be like, I didn't expect a catch to be so quick. But then again, maybe it's because the units were too slow marching up. Cameraman deciding to survey most of the battle here. Bridge is not down just yet. They're not pushing any of the siege towers. What is this strategy here? Down goes a wall break. Gives them another avenue. They have deployed a lot of their troops. A lot of their high tier troops already, so they're gonna have to choose. Why? Why have you not pushed the siege towers? This is very strange. You are projecting too hard. You are projecting too hard. They know you're going to go through the front gate. They know you're going to come through the wall break. Checkmate for For how well you did for the defense, you're doing terrible for the attack. You already made a massive loss for the beginning, and now you're going to make another massive loss here. Britannia knows you're coming, and they know which direction you're coming. They are ready for you. I say that, but actually, on the contrary, might not actually be ready. Blast right through that halberdier sergeant. But they'll catch a lot of troops here on the downside. Medals, a lot of medals. Not sure why they didn't decide to go with their iron caps. I mean, not the iron cap. Their iron reapers first. Iron reapers would be devastating in this scenario. A point will be grabbed here. Trying to, I guess, catch. Well, I'm not even sure if it's a catch. Really need to take out the Nafan guards. Nafan guards are being a pain. Losses for Bretonia are mounting. Not sure if the losses for Checkmate are mounting. It's kind of strange. The engagement seemed to be in Bretonia's favor, but somehow they lose out in the end. I don't know. That was about 130 to about 100 losses. 130 to Bretonia there. Maybe just a couple more. Bretonia's being too scattered here. One Palace Guard is not going to hold that stairs, and you're not ready. But they're going in anyway. Strong unit of Iron Reapers. Go, go, go. Looks like Iron Reapers trade evenly. That's unfortunate. But Imperial Pike March and Grey Hair Garrisons at the front should be able to fight back. But the Iron Reapers here just cut through! Wow, 3 sets of Iron Reapers here just cut through the Grey Hair Garrisons and the Imperial Pike March. And they're still cutting. Just one Grey Hair Garrison left. It will fall. Iron Reapers absolutely doing amazing job for Checkmate. This is not looking good. Bretonia is going to lose just because they can't deal with the Iron Reapers right now. And they're still letting the Iron Reapers fight. Not good. Every single kill every second these Iron Reapers are in the battle right now is losses, leading the charge against any infantry, very easily winning it. The engagement has been pulled off. Looks like it's going to be a reset from Checkmate. Very good, in fact. Nice timing. You got 6 minutes to go, but massive losses for Bretonia. So this next engagement can be easy because they could go for B, because B is more time. And more time means your tier 5s can chew away at the Bretonia army, because they're sacrificing their units that are dying. These tier 5s are not dying in the engagement, so they're coming back in fresh and full health. These 100 units are going to have to really make up for the losses here. And, I mean, I'm looking at just 100 units. I see no viable infantry, Grey Hair Garrisons, or medals of their own is going to win them the main push. But look how many medals Checkmate is deploying, and how many they probably have. Every single one of them probably had a medal. Every single one of them probably had, well, half of them had Iron Reapers. This is, oof. Bretonia looks to want to stranglehold the stairs here again, but a little being less confident here. Really, really not looking good. Checkmate projecting too hard. They know where the fight's going to happen, but I don't know whether or not Bretonia is set up for this. Grape shots being deployed as well. Grape shots deployed by both sides. It's going to be painful. Here comes the charge. Finally comes in from the side. The spread out is big, but no massive advantage. Nafan Guard's actually being deployed here. Big advantage. Oh no! This right-hand side is broken. Look at it fall. Right-hand side, left-hand side still holding, but about to be surrounded as it pushes its way through. Tundra humans, no, straight into a medal pile. Absolutely getting smashed. This left-hand side still holds strong, though. Good push, but you've lost your main advantage, which was the Nafan Guards. The Nafan Guards are off the field. Whatever remains here, just gray hair garrisons, just surviving on the lifesteal. Bretonnia just lost half of its units, but 300 units are off the field for Checkmate as well. Checkmate's grabbing the B point now. This is going to be brutal. Like, even though the trade was actually better in Bretonnia's favor, just the sheer mass of serfs and key, like, oh no, this is even worse. I forgot. They have a slew of Bocap riders. Any hero caught out is going to die fast. Bretonnia has no way to deal with the Bocap riders. They can't catch them, first point, because all of the Tundra humans have probably been knocked off the field, and even if they wanted to, they've got a Forte in the mix to protect them. Grape Shot still being deployed. Bocap, Iron Cap Bow Riders, no fear at all. Leftover Iron Reapers slaughter that Pike Militia in seconds. Forte not in position, but it will go down. Not good. Bad trade. But Iron Cap Bow Riders are still surrounding them. This Grey Hat Garrison is basically the only thing left. Some Tundra humans finally rock in. He's trying. Oh no, the spear's trying to rock through. Charge through. Actually makes it. Unfortunately, that's not looking good. The C point is captured. Barely any troops left for Bretonnia. Bretonnia is going to be knocked out by Checkmate. Checkmate's doing the works here. What is substantial left? We got a Forte. This supply point getting taken. 8 minutes to hold. Only 8 of you guys left. 177. Bretonnia, you are looking worse for wears. Triple tier 4 didn't work out. You needed to slow down the battle as much as you can, but Checkmate picking the battles they want. Root forcing through your tier 4s because they know they have stronger units and they know they can win. So the confidence here is confidence here for both sides. Kind of bite them in the ass. Bretonnia should have been more wary while Checkmate just believing in their tier 5. Again, tier 5s have an absolute advantage now, being actually good against being actually, like, again, not losing out to tier 4s in any way, shape, or form. The swarm is here. A couple of Iron Cap Bow Riders will slaughter the heroes' horses and will chase them down. They'll get surrounded eventually by serfs. 800 units to their 100. Some Forte rocking up. Some Palace Guards are holding. 2 sets of Palace Guards, in fact, but they will eventually clock out as the tide of infantry surround them. Heroes being desperate to keep their unit alive, but even in an even match where hero versus heroes, down goes another Bretonian. Bretonnia really needs to trade the heroes effectively, although most of the units have been knocked out. Bretonnia making a line here at the backside. 2 of their short swords deep within the enemy will go down, I bet. That short sword looking worse. Down goes that short sword. Every short sword, every hero is your last. This is going to be the final push. Nothing strong coming out. We got some more grey hair garrisons, but let's be honest, that grey hair garrison will need to be fast, and it's not going to cut through anything if it's going to be sitting on its ass in its 3 ranks formation. But that's where it's strongest. Some Iron Cap Bow Riders are rocking around behind. Gonna shoot them in the back. Lubu. 3 heroes left. 2 heroes left. Just Lucy and Lubu. Oh, this is going to be devastating. 2-0. Good job, Checkmate, for winning both battles. I think I've seen half strategies for this, and I've seen it not work. But this is devastating because we've seen the triple tier four lineup lose in the battle of attrition, and that is quite amazing considering that each of the tier fours should have been. I don't know, man. I have no idea. Like Bretonia either overestimate. Okay, so like definitely underestimating their opponent. The one thing here is that both of them both of them is both of them were confident. They were confident going into the fight. But here, even dumb Alice is better. Who's the new strat for this one? Alice got kicked out of Petronia, didn't he? My goodness. I don't know. Like Zhao JJ. Is he new? I don't know who Zhao JJ is. I'm guessing he's one of the Korean guys, isn't he? I'm just gonna put it down that that was like not even close. That was not even close. Like okay, so like in the defense, they actually managed to kill all of the high tier units. There was basically no high tier units by the end of that base point. But they were in a situation where they had to deal with all of the serfs. It should have been the opposite. It should have been the attackers having to deal with all of the serfs, slowing down the battle. But Bretonia wanted to be aggressive. I get that. I get that. Bretonia decided to be aggressive. They chose to go with they chose to go with multiple tier fours. Tier fours again. They switch out their lineups and be good in battle and have a lot of spares to swap over. But every single engagement was all or nothing. They lost every single engagement where the Nafan guards wasn't shooting. They lost. The only engagements they won was where the Nafan guards or the Metallators were working. We brought a lot of tier 4s. There were warbands almost all. Yeah, nah. 100% bet. Yeah, like, Maike. Bretonia was killing me. I said this after the Heilong Fjord. You guys needed more range. You needed. We even knew what you even knew what their strategy was, and you believed that you guys could have won with the tier fours. Is that what you think? You severely underestimate how strong Reapers were and how strong the Medaus are by default. I was watching, and every time you guys were engaging, the Iron Reapers crushed your entire face. It was every single grey hair garrison cut down to pieces. Every single engagement where the Iron Reapers were, you guys had no answer to them, and it was devastating. I don't know what your whole strat was, but if you were going with tier fours, bring more range because in that case, you saw in the Heilong Field match that all Reapers, all Medaus, Reapers, you need to draw them in. You can't just charge Reapers and expect to win. Are you using Sword Reapers or are you using Flail Reapers? This is a good question. If you use Flail Reapers, they'll lose. If you use Sword Reapers, they'll win. But it'll be on red health by the end of it. No hero interference, by the way. And the reason... Nah, that's where you probably fail. You see, these guys, very surprisingly, they still use Flail while charging in, but they swap to swords and activate Tiger's Guild almost instantly once that charge hits, because they can cut the weapon animation by by activating Tiger's Guile while the animation is going off. And it's very fascinating that I actually haven't seen this trick done very often. It doesn't even matter, in fact, whether or not the flail charge, whether or not the sword charge. It's the Tiger's Guile with swords that is killing you. First of all, Tiger's Guile is grossly underestimated for the fact that people don't realize that while you're in sword mode, you are CC immune. Grey Hair Garrison, with Last Stand, does knockback. That is one of your key saving graces. It does knockback. Without that CC, Grey Hair Garrisons are trading pound for pound with Iron Reapers. Iron Reapers, in their current balance, are unmatched. They are unmatched. Pound for pound, unmatched. If you can't CC the Iron Reapers, you're screwed. That's how powerful the 7% damage reduction was, and this is how powerful CC immunity is. Like, CC immunity is grossly underestimated, and Iron Reaper's stats are still amazing. I understand why they had to nerf Iron Reapers twice over, because of how much armor these guys actually have. These guys are impossible to kill. But now with the 7% damage reduction by default, it makes it easier. Well, no, sorry. It's more effective against higher tier units, but it also is less effective against units that were already less effective against them. So kind of a weird trade-off there. In the end, Iron Reapers, do not underestimate them. You need to deal with them almost immediately, because they trade pound for pound with any unit. Medal, like, with any unit, better. You need to use anti-charge bonuses. Use the brace. Use the Fortebraccio brace. Use the Fortebraccio attack. You guys should have looked at those Iron Reapers, saw those Iron Reapers coming in, and used your Fortebraccios, XV them like crazy, because those Iron Reapers, once they get close, you are screwed. They cut down infantry really hard, because one of the things that I also really find fascinating is Iron Reapers have a special critical which does 6,000 damage. 6,000 damage! That's half of any tier 4's health. And I'm pretty sure that Iron Reapers also hit like sorry. I did this with the analysis Discord group. They figured that the Sword Reapers have a glitch where Tiger's Step and the charge sometimes during when they do the Tiger Step, they will screw up and target 7 guys all at once. It'll be like, bleh. Huh? Me personally, I chose the middle line. These guys, mostly in the tournament that we just saw, Checkmate, chose to go with top line. So top line, then fill in for the bottom line. An important point to make is Flail Reapers win against Sword Reapers, but Sword Reapers win against everything else. Flail Reapers work half the time, while Sword Reapers work way more consistently, because they're CC immune, and again, they have generally better animations. So, basically, I'm gonna have to also put it down to the fact that Flail Reapers have amazing amount of armor penetration, so the damage numbers between middle and top line is a little bit scuffed when you're comparing them together. But against anything else, nothing the flails are like over 2,000 armor penetration. The slashing is around about 1,500. So that's what I was reading. You're probably you're gonna have to ask Alan Apochi. I'm not gonna just invite people on a whim. Again, the analyst board is just like a bunch of people that likes to test that likes to actually test things out. So I'm pretty sure a couple of the guys will post what we find eventually. I'm pretty sure like if you watch any of the if you watch pretty sure there's Alan Poggi already or some other related people have posted about Iron Reapers and their strength. Alan Apogee. Not sure how you pronounce that. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly grab some more water and gonna have a short break. But Britannia, you disappoint me here. You disappoint me. Your strategy here, although it could work against like normal teams in this season, definitely underestimating your Iron Reapers here. Ah, that's mine. I only ate one. Yeah, I'll probably eat it tonight before I go to bed. Ugh. I mean, like I could shit talk the same thing over and over again, but it was fascinating watching it all. They needed to slow down the battle. They needed to spread out. They needed to somehow um, spread out the attackers. They needed to get. They needed to draw it. Like it was so fascinating. The Medaus make it so difficult to push through. Iron Reapers push through by default, and so when you have masses clash, Iron Reapers are going in. The Medal follow up. If you need to brute force through the Iron Reapers, get to Medal. But if you brute force and you don't deal with the Iron Reapers, and you try to deal with the Medal, the Iron Reapers will just cut you to pieces. It was so easy. You just think about it. You draw in the Iron Reapers, you shoot them to pieces. You draw in the Medal, you shoot them to pieces. At no point did you need to actually fully engage. Like, at no point are you the one that needs to engage. Because you had a massive disadvantage. I mean, okay, so that's only assuming if you had range superiority. If you're trading range, then you got a problem. You have trump cards. You had Imperial Pike Marches, so it would make it impossible for an Iron Reaper charge. It would make it impossible for Medals to push through. And you had Fort Braccio. You had Grey Hair Garrisons to hold, to block, which was good. Well, should have been good. Grey Hair Garrisons were useful, but I think a lot of people overstepping the Grey Hair Garrisons and eventually leaving them last. The Grey Hair Garrison should be the first to the fight and the last to leave. Grey Hair Garrisons have the advantage of having damage reduction and the heal, so they sustain very well. So that I mean, Grey Hair Garrison's shields are basically some of the strongest in the game. But with that said, Iron Reapers still butcher them. From the sheer fact that, like, 16 versus 24, and I mean, like, 16 multiplied by 3 at the very least, and it could be, like, multiple up to, like, 7 if you're unlucky. Attack speed is not bad either. What you're fighting against. If you guys were just a little bit more patient and less aggressive, you didn't need to try to trade. You didn't need to push in and collapse the lines because the Medals themselves are designed to slow down fights. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the Medals themselves slow down fights. This allows Iron Reapers to get off multiple charges, multiple Tiger Steps. That's why they were using the Medal so early, because they needed to. I mean, the Medals made up the majority of their forces. Medals made up the majority of their forces, so they had the Medals engage, slow down that front line, eat up, eat up your counters, and send in the Iron Reapers to then counter the push you're making. Because your guys are going to try to push into the Medals, which are useless in this scenario. They're just there to slow you down. And not to mention, they also provide their own CC. The Iron Reapers won't be able to get CC, have to worry about CC. So any heroes caught up in a Iron Reaper Counter Strike is going to be terrifying. That's why you lost so many of your heroes at Heilong Fjord. You guys were pushing too hard into the Medals, but couldn't get through the Medals and ran straight into the Iron Reapers. It's so fascinating when we're looking at overall strategies like this. Both of these teams are not bad. I'm not saying that Bretonia is bad. It's just unfortunate that they didn't adapt. They didn't adapt. They did not respect their enemy. Their first attempt on Heilong Fjord was to go hyper aggressive, push the enemy out with force. But you're fighting force with force, and again, the defenders have the advantage of picking the fight. Well, sort of. They have to fight on the points. But they'll know which direction you're coming from. You focus on trying to be aggressive, but that led to your downfall. Because you couldn't be aggressive when you wanted to, or you chose units, or you chose to use units that couldn't be as aggressive as as aggressive as your style, or couldn't get through the enemy defenses. And that's a bit sad. Now thinking about it, it just shows how overpowered the defenses of an Iron Reaper is, and the defenses of Medals are. Alright, we should be getting the second battle very shortly. We got Chinese Red versus Chinese War. Again, I have not seen Chinese War fight on the battlefield, but I have seen Chinese Red, I believe. Chinese Red did get beaten out, I do believe, the last time I was watching them, but came back. Hope they come back with a vengeance. Chinese War actually being JC. Gonna be very interesting. Both Chinese Red and Chinese War are actually from JC. And okay, so I'm 100% guaranteed sure that Chinese Red, Chinese War, and Chinese Dragon are all related. They're all JCs. They have to be. Though, I mean, probably internally, doesn't matter which one these guys win, but I hope they have a good battle. I don't believe that I don't believe that they would fight like without trying. I mean, Chinese Red, Chinese Dragon, and Chinese War, all from JC. Whether or not they're related, I've got no information on that. So if someone from JC could tell me if these guys are, that'd be great. But looks like for our first battle, we have Heilong Fjord. Gonna be a little bit, gonna be strange to say the least. Just very quickly, we have Chinese Red banning Constantinopolis. We have Chinese War banning Linwu Fortress. Chinese Red choose to attack on Heilong Fjord first, and Chinese Red attacks on Wall Fort. So, very interesting. We're going to see Chinese Red attack Heilong Fjord. Let's see if Chinese Red does better than Britannia. Chinese Red somewhat going with a... Only 3 guys actually going with a double tier 5 lineup, but otherwise it's a tier 5, tier 4, tier 3, which is very common in in fact in sieges. But whether or not this comes into the strategy of massive B side push. Oof. You need to be fast. This is the key. You need a shock and awe tactic. B-side can be gotten really easily, and if B-side gets collapsed on, A is slower towards the C point, so you can blast through. If you blast through C, you can. If you blast through blast through B, you can blast through C and book it to base. While the guys at A have to engage them around the C point and defend and fall back to the base point. Bet on Chinese Red. Let's see whether or not Chinese War is going to. I mean, like, this is the first time I'm going to see Chinese War. We've seen Chinese Red perform before. So and these guys were not bad. They beat out one of my other one of the other guys that I've seen before. Very strange. Only 2 guys coming through this front gate. They're trebbing the wall break here. There comes Metallitaurs. 2 sets of Metallitaurs just double volley. Doesn't go down just yet. They're trying to destroy it very fast. Down it goes. Chinese War sees the push. Imperial Pike March not ready though. Straight into a Medal and in another Imperial Pike March. Greyhair Garrisons will hold strong. This Treb not going to hit anything. It's just going to hit all walls, or maybe one will get in. Let's see. Not close. Nafan Guards here at the front. That's going to be devastating. Chinese Red is eating it really hard. Winged Hussars coming in through the back. Was it all a bait? Is this a complete collapse here? Oh, no. Although the Winged Hussars and the Cavalry were doing very well for a short few seconds, I guess the infantry couldn't blast through. That Greyhair Garrison at the front is still holding strong. Imperial Pikemen at the back now. The B point is actually getting capped. These Medals are completely surrounded. That's got to be a bit scary. Their own Metallitaurs also being deployed. These Trebs, not the greatest, but They will hit something by the looks of it. Two Trebs comes in. They're just going to rely on brute force here. Chinese red sending the defenders back home here. Look at this. Winged Hussars still no fear. They see these medals. They charge straight in. Probably the worst trade I've ever seen. But, I mean, we're looking at a unit deficit right now at 250. B point has gotten. Switch to the A point. Stop pushing. Stop pushing through here. Palace Guards trying to push their way through. Switch to the A point. Ah, damn it, Chinese Red. Come on. You're smarter than this. It's all about pressure. Iron Reapers, what are you doing? You're lucky those Fortebraccios have pissed off. Flail Iron Reapers, in fact. This spear in the back does go down. Wow, a nice pickup of about 100 kills. This main push here on the on the right hand side of that on that supply point does seem to be working and does seem to be very effective. But right now we're looking at the A point. Imperial Pike march straight onto some Iron Cap. Winged Hussars just roll them over. But some Berserkers in the mix will take out quite a few, if not the entirety of the Imperial Pikemen. They actually got the supply point. But Tundra Human is surrounding this point, and I think infantry is on their way. Chinese Red, you are super aggressive. Ring around the rosy, two Jewel Blades are chasing each other. I'll be honest with you, I would just dismount and try to hit the butterfly. It's going to be a brutal fight here, but ooh, this Iron Cap gets caught in the side here. Medals, some Fortebraccios, not a good spot in fact. Some Metallators shoot directly at him. I think Chinese War being a bit too aggressive, even in the defense. Some Northern Lands cavalry in the mix here. Very fascinating to see. Not good. Some Tundra Humans are going to deal with those Metallators very easily. Front line is not holding very strong. Actually, Greyhair Garrison still at the front. Just actually collapsed. That's very unfortunate. Iron Reapers cutting through. Medals rocking up. Only one. Where's the second one? The second one is right there. Iron Reapers do seem to want to go. Chinese Red cannot stabilize. They're getting attacked from both hand side. A point actually got capped in the meantime. We're also seeing them head towards that supply, head towards that harbor and split off towards the sea point. Massive retreat from Chinese War. Chinese War is chases off that musket. That musket gets out very fast, but now Chinese Red has the opportunity to stabilize. They can regroup and reform. Whether or not they're going to come up through the B side or swap over to the A side, I say swapping over to the A side is better. But let's see if Chinese War can take advantage of Chinese Red being here. Looking at those Metallators over on that cliff, definitely going to be a hard ask to charge on through. We've already got some grape shots being deployed, probably preemptive because they might not stay. There they go. Off they go. Chinese Red realizes that the B side is shit. Well, I mean, it's not. You need to be fast. You just need to be fast, and you're gonna be amazing if you can brute force fast. They're gonna need every unit to count now. I mean, you're about 100. You're about 70 units down. Though you were down much more earlier. But good pickups all around. I do think that Chinese Red is still in it to win it. We got some Berserkers, free Berserkers gonna rock up. I think 4 squads of Berserkers spawn. Chinese red looking for this supply point. Gonna be just Pike Militia. Very strange to bring a ballista in this scenario. Oh, must be devastating. That slam actually sent them towards the Madao. Good combo. Unfortunately, Chinese War is dealing with the Berserkers. Good strategy as they rock up here towards the supply point. Easy surround. Easy surround here. Gonna have to deal with those Metallators though. Chinese Red is coming in force. I would take the stairs. I would go right and take the stairs. If Chinese Red comes through here, that is their strong point. But here comes some trebs. You even see lots of grape shots already being deployed. That was a nice treb into the dead center of just a couple of units. Screening with Village Watchmen and some Medaus at the front. Big battle is about to kick off. Those Medaus are going to be key, but they're going to get shot early. This treb, not good, because you're pushing in and it's nothing substantial. But they pull off magically. That was an amazing treb. It did not hit a single person from Chinese Red. A collapse of that front line is doing whoa, point blank charge here from Ironcap. Ironcap, very lucky treb. I do agree there. The C point is getting captured. What are you doing, Chinese War? Massive retreat. You're down troops. You're literally going to need to last 6 minutes, sorry, on this base point. What are you doing sticking around, watching the C point getting capped? You either fight and die, or you're going back to set up for the base point. You still have 1 point left. Chinese Red, all resupplying. Good. Because, I mean, you're down to 500. Both teams down to 500. This is pretty much your last unit, your last hurrah to say, because once this next major engagement goes, you're down to basically nothing. I'm betting a lot of these guys are down to their last troops, and it's still looking a bit scary for Chinese Red. I mean, Chinese War can still hold. Wondering what kind of units they have left. Trebs are still available, but the unit quality is looking terrible. Wow, that was double lucky Treb, like hitting that Pike Militia, even though it was nowhere near where the Treb was aimed at. Serfs versus Serfs engaging. We got some Demez Pikemen coming in. Medaus for Chinese Red. Some more grape shots. Bowcat Riders. Wow, you're point blank. These Medaus will probably be key. Watch them closely as the fight will revolve around them. Pike Militia in the center here. The only thing holding back the Madao. Massive charge by some Serfs deep within the Village Watchman line. The troop quality here is not in the favor of Chinese Red, so again, this is going to be a clean sweep. Sorry. The troop quality was in favor of Chinese Red, so it was pretty much going to be an easy victory here. Very unfortunate that Chinese War had no good troops left. They've already sacrificed a lot of their artillery, and as they run away, Chinese Red captures the base point and wins Hailong Fjord. My goodness, I was not expecting the kind of aggressiveness out of Chinese Red. They did not give an inch. They did not give time to Chinese War to regroup or reform at all at the B point. I thought several times the B was uncappable, but they proved me wrong there. They threw in cavalry into the backs of those Medaus. They crushed the primary defense, and they crushed the supply point. Very surprising for me. I did not expect Chinese Red to win the B point on a even, or maybe even, let's say, a positive trade. I thought that was a negative, because Nafan Guards burnt down the first set. You also kicked off the Imperial Pike March too early. But in the end, Chinese Red did win. And it was by the medals at the end. 3 sets of probably half medals. Basically, the key that won them that victory. Looking at the unit kills, definitely a lot. Probably. I mean, Pike Militia Brace is okay. You can use stun. You can use the stun on brace to a good extent against most units, but Iron Reapers cut right through that. They ignore stun on brace. They don't care. Um, Pikes in general has just been going downhill. The nerf back in season 5, I think, to pikemen was pretty devastating. Pretty devastating to say the least. They can't hit point blank anymore. And the swords and shield charges, all of them getting blocked was pretty devastating. All of the sword and shield charges getting blocked meant that they could just charge straight at brace pikes and doesn't even need a care. That was the saddest thing, probably. It was the biggest change back in season 5. I think that was no, season 6 was the biggest change. Um, yeah, that was the biggest change there. Was the swords and shields getting the shielded charge, having block on it, so they could just charge straight at brace pikes. Nowadays, you just charge straight at pikes. It's really hilarious, actually. The only couple of units can't charge at brace pikes very well. Like Iron Reapers still fail, but they don't need to charge anymore. They just press 2 and they'll just walk straight at them. Maybe some cavalry, but cavalry is still tanky enough to just be like, I'ma just go through anyway. Pikes don't do enough damage anymore. Let's be real. Pikes don't do enough damage anymore. Swords and shields do too much damage, and like shield units are worth like the spear units like loyal guards, imperial spear guards. They're useless. They're actually useless. Why would you use them with like both Iron Reapers and Medals both basically ignore shields? I mean, legitimately, both the Medal Order and Lethal March for the Medal ignores block. So why would you use it? So you don't even. I mean, what's the point of having a unit with block if a unit you're facing just ignores it? Iron Reaper's flail ignores block, but their sword shouldn't be underestimated because that block break on the sword is amazing. I mean, it takes about 3 hits, give or take, to take out a loyal guards block if it's the default one. Then it's around about 4 or 5 if it's buffed by doctrines. Yeah. Pike's not being able to deal damage at point blank range was probably the biggest change that was fascinating because it really changed the dynamic of how pikes were used. Because back before they could poke at point blank range, people would run their pike militia straight in and be like, brace on top, and everything would die because you'd cause some kind of like alpha strike where everything attacks at once because they would brace on top. Because when you brace on top, it'll do the brace damage, which is around about 300, and then it'll also give them an auto attack. And then when they're fully braced, they'll auto attack again. So you do probably like 300 plus 1500 plus another 1500. So give or take, you're doing like 4k with that strategy. And then after the first auto attack, you just press V again, and they'll auto attack again. It was a pretty mid maxy thing, and yeah, I think people hated it because everyone was just seeing pikes around, just like because Stun on Brace is so broken OP that like nothing can deal with it. Like I remember seeing whole sections of like Conetaries, or no, like even tier 4, um, tier 4 Iron Pagodas. So you got like Zeregs or other units that weren't immune to stun on brace, that would just get Pike Militia swarmed on them and then brace and just eventually just die. I mean, I've lost Royal Janissaries to stun on brace more times than I can more times than I'd like to admit, because I underestimate the stun on brace a lot. Back when I was like leveling up Royal Janissaries. Kind of sad now since Royal Janissaries have been kind of pushed out completely. Can't even use them anymore. Sad. Ah, that's all right. People people stay, people come, people go. I I like I like to engage with people, and whether or not they watch me or other people can just do with the fact that I'm probably not getting my face out there enough. I don't know, man. Low view count does kind of it. I don't know what to say. I'd wish there were more people. It would make it more fun the more people I engage with. Anything can work with the longsword. Longsword is a support hero. 350, yeah. Royal Janissaries 350 leadership. Compared, like, before they were the only they were the heavy infantry, like tier 5 heavy infantry. But Iron Reaper is now better in combat than Royal Janissaries, which is upsetting. Medals also, they trade really well with Royal Janissaries, which is upsetting, but um, they're also immune to impervious to cavalry, also cheaper. So Royal Janissaries is just not cut out anymore. I mean, they'd need some fairly hefty buffs. 320, make it the same as the Iron Reapers and the Medals. I guess Royal Janissary just not cutting it though. Anyway, we're on to the next battle. This time we're looking at Chinese War attacking on Wolfort against Chinese Red. Chinese Red already winning the attack on Hailong Fjord. Let's see if Chinese War can also win their attack. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to send it to a tiebreaker. And I'd like to everyone to remember, if you're enjoying the stream, please talk. It's very lonely when people don't talk, and I'm just talking to myself the entire time. I love engaging with my audience. Makes me sound crazy as well. Anyway, looking at the basics of what's happening right now. Small fort has quite a few guys, about 5. Also around about 6 guys heading towards the from Chinese War, the attackers heading towards the small fort. Only 2 contesting on top of this wall. Maybe if the heroes commit to the climb, they will be able to push it out. Let's see how well Chinese Red defend this bridge. It could be a quick rush. Very strange Treb. Not sure what it hits, but does look like Chinese Red is making their way to destroy these towers. I'm looking at this right side siege tower getting shot. Very fascinating indeed. Pike Militia facing off against Shield Maidens. Wonder how low this bridge is. We got several cannons being used to destroy this. I guess it's too low now. I don't think they're going to commit to a push. And also they're going to have to go through a Medal and a Palace Guard. Whoop, this Treb probably could go higher. Good strategy, but I think they may have put these too far. You could actually just put them at the C point. Don't need to go all the way to the base point. It's a waste of time, first of all, and also shooting from that distance, you will lose a little bit of control because you also have to be preemptive, and you can't really. You really need communication here of when to destroy the siege towers. You don't want to maximize. You want to maximize time taking out these siege towers, especially with a passive attacker like this. Not an attacker like Checkmate. Checkmate didn't even get a single siege tower up, and they took the A point, and they took the B point, and they savagely beat up Britonia. I'm going to bring that up probably a couple of times because I'll be honest with you, that is how you play Wall Fort in tournament when every single person, every single team is just gone. I'm gonna use my Cauldron, destroy these siege towers, and waste a lot of time. You waste a lot of time destroying these siege towers because the enemy attackers don't know what to do. Checkmate knew what to do. They knew that Britonia was going to be like, oh, we can just destroy the siege towers. No. They didn't have any of that. But it'll be fascinating to see what's the response from Chinese War. Although, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty standard. They're going to get the siege tower up eventually. Whether or not it's going to be 4 minutes or whether it's going to be 3 minutes, it depends on how well Chinese Red controls the siege towers. Pretty sure they can send all of the siege towers down yet again. Down goes the right-hand siege tower. Going to take another, let's say, minute, 2 minutes probably, before they can get that siege tower up again. Probably 4 minutes 30 earlier siege tower if the left-hand side goes down. Yes, one more time. Down goes left-hand siege tower. All of it reset yet again. We got a couple of guys poking their faces in the front gate. Whether or not it's a push or just an accidental let go of units. Unit control is... Wow, what is this? Chinese Red actually might go all in for the wall here. I mean, not the worst strategy. The right-hand siege tower might be able to get up within probably another 20 seconds. I'm not sure what's shooting it, but we got some Metallators. Let's see how many Cauldrons there are. Not very many Cauldrons left on the field, but we got some mortars laying down suppressive fire. Not very accurately at the present time. Down goes that right-hand siege tower. Middle side siege tower will be around about 40 seconds, I would say. Make it 50. But if they're relying on that the right-hand siege tower has the shortest time to go, and I'm pretty sure it's like an additional 20 seconds before that siege tower comes back up again. I think they could probably get the right-hand siege tower up by, let's say, about 3 minutes 40. They'll need one of these other siege towers up, otherwise they're just going to run out of time. And it's not looking good for them. I mean, like, no major engagements happening so far, and if Chinese War literally loses just because they don't have another strategy, it's going to be pretty upsetting. Down goes that left-hand siege tower. Does look like they actually let them get this middle siege tower up, but it might be just a massive bait. Probably a massive bait because this middle siege towers are the worst to go up because the enemy has the luxury of surrounding or bottlenecking the siege tower. What's fascinating is that if you had a ranged unit, you could stand up on the that wall and shoot those guys right there on that siege tower. Not that anyone actually does it in tournament because not many people bring ranged units. Although you should really bring 3, maybe 5, 5 at most. 3, I think 3 is a good number. Now they're climbing. Wow, they're gonna have to win it with the first push. Iron Reaper's gonna be your biggest asset here. I say if you can combine the Iron Reapers with the Imperial Pike March, nothing is going to be able to stop them. Let's see if they match the Iron Reapers and the Imperial Pike Marches together, because they have, again, Iron Reapers are on the field for Chinese War, some Madaos as well, so it will be slow. Massive retreat. Chinese Red chose to retreat, actually. They might lose this musket. Ooh, musket jumps down, doesn't die from the fall. The wall isn't down, so B is actually an easy grab. But you don't have much time. 3 minutes for both. So let's say about 8 minutes. You got 8 minutes. What are you going to do, Chinese Red? You got 8 minutes. Not a lot of time. You can afford to use maybe 2 minutes of your time to set up some mortars. But you're going to have to go with the units you got. You can't switch. Well, maybe if you switch now, you could. Taking a little bit longer than I thought. I think solo can. I keep forgetting. Okay, so normally it used to be where one person just stands on a point. It takes 20 seconds to cap. Now it varies. I really need to test this out. How long it takes for one person to cap? I mean, like I could probably go back and check it. But if you have 3 people standing on point, probably takes around about less than 20 seconds. It caps out at 3 people. I know it caps out at 3 people because it's the same as it's the same in like bandit camps and stuff. Takes longer with one person, takes half the time with 2 people, and the shortest amount of time with 3 people. So I'm not sure how long the time is. Oh, this gives only. I mean, they only have 7 minutes now. Not very much time. Kind of in a good position actually. The mortaring here is going to be pain in the ass. I would position myself towards the C point already, while also still mortaring the supply point, because I would sacrifice 5 guys. 5 guys go for the C point, and then everyone else go for the supply point when those 5 guys get engaged. They really need to make a move soon. Does look like they are making a move. Chinese War probably being a little bit too cautious, or no, being indecisive here actually. They pulled back. Didn't decide to engage. Again, not good look if you don't just engage sometimes. You're running out of time. I mean, you can pull off 2 good pushes in 6 minutes. Too many guys towards the C point, not enough guys towards the supply point. But let's see if they, because an all-in on the C point is not impossible. That's one of the major things. It's not impossible. The Shield Maidens gonna get rinsed here. But the Madaos, wow, this is good setup. They slowed down the defenders, and Imperial Pike Marches, again, pushes them back. Here comes some Tundra units in the back, doing very effective. I mean, all of those Madaos just died, but the Nafan Guard's still on the field. Not Winged Assaults coming out from the other side now. Amazing job from Chinese War. C point is massively under threat. Chinese Red needs to go all in and push them out, because looking at this, it's looking very scary. Hero after hero will need to go in, slow down that thing. Nice job! Looks like one of the Jewel Blades is on this supply point, not allowing them to get reinforcements. But not being able to deal with the heroes is probably the biggest problem. But now some more infantry reinforcements, but no reinforcements coming out from Chinese War. Oh, 100 humans in the back probably took out the Metallators, but probably not going to be good enough to take out those Medals. Medals just deal with them easy. The second wave here. Can they keep up the pressure on that supply point? In this case, I would actually sacrifice my life, die, so I can respawn with a new unit closer than walking back and getting a new unit. You don't have time. And you've given Chinese Red all the time in the world now. Chinese Red is pushed out the attackers all the way. This next attack is your last effort. And you're going to need to win and crush Chinese Red here. I mean, you got medals to go through, you got water brashiers to go through. Iron pagodas and prefecture guards probably not the easiest thing to beat up quickly, but it's not the hardest thing that you could face. But 5 medals here. You're gonna have to find a way to deal with 5 medals. Condottieri's on the field as well. Condottieri is very effective with their shield bash, shock attack. Shock impact is quite an ability. Here, having one ranged unit would be very useful. I would pick Tertials, because Tertials would be amazing in this scenario. They've got tons of ammo, 900 ammo for Tertials. And they would be shooting the entire time. And no one likes getting shot for free. But here come some grape shots. You need to engage now. 2 minutes 30 seconds. 2 minutes 30 seconds. Not enough time to just defeat the enemy and get to the C point. You need to rush to the C point. Waiting for those Metallators. These Metallators might just win them the battle. But Chinese Red sees that they're in a bad position. Excellent job. Moves back. Tertial's also on the front. Nice job. Tertial's a bit late, though. Main engagement coming in. 100 humans comes in through the side. Swipes the Fortabrachos completely off the field now. Where are these flamers coming from? We're looking at ball throwers for Chinese Red. Chinese Red in a way better position here because those flamers crushing and the mighty charge. My goodness, Iron Reapers as well. Wow, where are these reserved units coming from? I saw 5 medals, but Iron Reapers as well? Quality of unit is better on Chinese Red side, and it looks like it's going to be a clean sweep here. Chinese War didn't stand a chance at this rate. Didn't allow the Tertials to shoot. The Metallators were not as effective, as surprisingly, as a Tier 3 unit. The Bastion Wild Flames, way more effective than the Metallators. Metallators could not deal the damage, could not deal the CC to win the front line battle. But definitely the charge, the positioning, like, they knew that they needed to slow down the engagement with Chinese Red. So they were trying to they're trying to swing around, but maybe it was just a bait in the end. Maybe they wanted to fight because they had a Tundra human inside the main gate, and that's what caught me by surprise, because I didn't expect those Tundra humans coming out of the front gate to be for the defenders, and that was amazing. Swiped out the Fortabrachio, and right now Chinese Red is like unstoppable. I don't think not a chance in hell Chinese War will be able to win against this fortified position right now, unless all of them come in with Tundra humans or something. But Chinese Red, amazing job and amazing work indeed. Nice catch. It's just like that was a good catch. They positioned Chinese War like it felt like it was on purpose. It felt like it was a trap. Chinese War wanted to engage. Chinese Red didn't let them engage. And then when they did engage, it was all in Chinese Red's favor. They had the Brassian Wild Flames. They had the fucking Tundra humans come in. I mean, the Tertials and the Metallators did rock up, but they weren't firing from the get-go. They weren't pressuring the enemy. It's like the advantage was lost because the main key engagements were over in an instant when the Tundra Humans came in and when the Brassian Wild Flames just lit up the field. Good job, though. Good job. I congratulate Chinese Red for moving on to the top 16. We will see you in the second round knockouts. Very unfortunate for Chinese War. We won't get to see you in the next round. I'm going to be checking. I'm just going to check. I'm going to see if I can get a who won in EW versus Four Season check right now. But other than that, we're just going to rehash what we saw tonight. We watched the Bretonia versus Checkmate battle, with Checkmate winning 2-0. Very unfortunate for Bretonia. And then we just watched the Chinese Red versus Chinese War, with Chinese Red also dominating 2-0. Very good for both of those. They will get to see Checkmate and Chinese Red in the top 16, along with quite a few other people. We'll also get to see Crusaders finally back in the front seat here. Chinese Crusaders. We'll get to see Crusaders kick it off with the Group A winners, which I do believe is actually HQ. And it looks like EW won. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, in the match between EW and Four Seasons, EW won. So we'll get to see EW as well. But I'm very happy to see what kind or how Crusaders is going to perform this season. I do understand that we're probably not going to see the original Crusaders. I believe Crusaders, a lot of the main players from Crusaders have left the game or have decided to play other games. Again, my information on that is a little bit missing. Well, I mean, a little bit lacking. But I do think Crusaders are still the reigning champions or the defending champions for this season. So it'll be great to see what kind of strategy they pull off because, again, we always say that Crusaders here on the Asia Division server is the top team. Well, let's hope they can keep it up. Other than that, I think that is all for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, but I'm going to book out of here. So I'll catch you guys another time. Bye now.